What's going on, guys? This is Chandler Smith, and in today's video, I'm gonna show you how my brother was able to make over $94,000 this last month, and the way that he did it is going to surprise you. So with all of that being said, let's jump into it. All right, guys, I just want to set the stage. My brother Payton absolutely killed it this last month. My brother was the man in high school, to the point where we were extremely competitive with everything, even though I was 2 years older. And to express this, I wanted to share a story with you. In high school, the weekend hit, I think it was either Friday or Saturday night, and I was at home sitting around being sad because I didn't have anything going on, and my brother was out jumping on the trampoline with some girl. Now, he was the ladies' man extraordinaire. He was always just very talented and artsy with stuff. He had better hands in football and in basketball, an incredible three-point shooter. I was just like the numbers guy that didn't have any of that other stuff. And so to say there was a little jealousy would probably be an understatement, but we were always competing with everything. And this particular weekend, he had a girl over and he was out jumping on the tramp. Well, I thought it would be hilarious to go turn on the sprinkler system. So I turned on the sprinkler system, doused him and this girl in water, and it was hilarious. And I decided I was gonna dip. So I dipped out, and when I came back to the house, my parents were out for the night. When I came back to the house, all of the doors were locked, and I called him and I was just super fired up, and he's like, dude, that's what you get. Finally, he says, fine, you can come into the back door. Well, he had put a big bucket of water on the door and left it half open. And so I go and throw the door open, not knowing the bucket of water is there, but instead of tipping and falling on me, the bucket just fell straight down and pegged me in the head and gave me a big gash in my head. So in our younger years, we were very competitive, and I couldn't say we were great friends just because we were always bashing heads. Fast forward a couple years, and I graduated high school and ended up serving a mission for my church. My brother did the same thing, but I had that 2-year gap on him. So when I got back, I decided I wanted to move out to California and knock doors and sell pest control. Now, if you follow the channel, you know that first year, I killed it. I ended up making over $96,000 the first year and $140,000 plus the second year. And at that point, my brother then decided that he wanted to do the same job. Now, as you can imagine, there was a lot of pressure on him to go out and break my record. Everyone that knew him knew that he was more talented at everything else. And so that was a lot of pressure to go out and try and throw down and sell some pest control. So it was my third year. I was managing a big team, and one of the members on that team was my brother Payton. In his first month, he absolutely killed it. As a matter of fact, he did more than I had done in my first month, and so everyone thought he was on track to break the record. But then after that, he kind of slowed down, and he had a good summer, but he only made about $40,000 or $50,000 that first summer. So coming out of it, there was definitely some disappointment, I would say, but also some realization that he just didn't like the job the way that I did. He wasn't passionate about sales, especially door-to-door sales, the way that I was. So the next summer he came out, he made a little more money. I think he made just over $60,000. And at that point, it was very clear that he had other interests. As I had told you earlier, he had always been a more artistic type and someone that could use that part of his brain where I couldn't. I was the numbers guy, I was the force it through guy. So the next 2 years, I felt like he just had one foot in and one foot out. He was working half the hours knocking doors during the summer, and then I thought he was just going home bumming around, when in reality, he was building a business that would end up exploding. Now, looking back, during this time period, I was honestly kind of worried about my brother, because during those couple years, I was like, dude, you're just spinning your wheels. You could be making a ton of money doing door-to-door sales, building a team, really applying yourself. I know you're capable of it because I saw it that first month of the summer, but he just wasn't doing it. And so those 2 years, you know, I was worried. I was really hopeful that he would figure something out, but I wanted him to be able to make money. I wanted him to be successful, and it seemed like it wasn't really going that direction. I definitely had a thought process that it was my way or the highway, and he couldn't really be successful doing anything else. However, during those 2 years when he had one foot in working with me at Aptive, he had one foot into building a business. And I kind of viewed it as, all right, like, you're talented, you're making a couple $1,000s here or there making websites for people, but where is this gonna go? Like, could it really turn into something that could be a career for you? Funny, because that's exactly what he did, and in So we're about 30 seconds from his house. We're gonna go inside and he's gonna share with you how he made over $94,000 from his business this month. I love and look up to my brother like crazy. And I think it's so incredible that he was able to figure out what his passion was and really grind at it and create a business that now has absolutely exploded. So we're gonna head inside and give you the full rundown. All right, here we are. And before we go knock on the door and head inside, I've got to give you a little backstory on Payton's house. And the reason I want to share this is it's been really cool because our skill sets are very different. And obviously I've gotten pretty good at real estate investing stuff. And I pushed Payton hard to invest in real estate, but he decided it was smarter to keep all of his money in his business, which honestly it was, because he's been able to blow it up. However, I was able to talk him into purchasing a condo about 2 years ago. When he first purchased his condo, I know he was hesitant because they were renting and he didn't want to put money into a property. However, it ended up being a great investment. It went up in value by like $70,000. And so they were able to sell that and take that money and put it into this home. But it worked out that COVID hit right when he was thinking about buying a house. And I told him, dude, I know you're planning on doing it in the next 6 months. And I think he was planning on waiting because of everything they had going on. But I pushed him hard to buy right when COVID hit because I knew builders were nervous. And so he actually was able to get a killer deal on this home as well. So that's my little claim to fame with his house. I had to mention real estate at least a little bit, but now let's head inside and he's gonna share how he was able to make over $94,000 this month. What's up? How are you?
Good to see you.
Good.
Let's do this.
I was just talking about how much more talented I am than you.
All right. That'll be the first time you lied to your subscribers.
Just kidding. Quite the opposite.
Let's do it.
All right, guys, I've given you the full background. Now I'm going to turn it over to my brother Payton so he can explain exactly what he does, because I kind of know it's like website design, SEO, all of that good stuff, but maybe I'll cut you loose.
Yeah, I'll teach you up here. So I started out as just like a freelance designer back in college, and that slowly kind of transitioned into building websites because I realized that designers don't get paid a whole lot. So I was building websites, sorry designers out there. So I was building websites. I kind of transitioned into building websites specifically for like local businesses. I did that for about a year and then again kind of hit this limit where I wasn't making as much as I wanted to. And so I decided that I need to add like some marketing services or something that was actually making revenue for my clients that they could track. So we added SEO services to our web design services. And so it kind of became this full process where we build a website and then we run SEO. And I guess if you don't know what SEO is, it's basically getting these websites to rank on Google so people get traffic there and then clients, customers. So we've done that, and as we've grown, we've started to land bigger clients. So we're running ad campaigns and we've just grown into like a full service digital agency. And so I myself don't do any design work anymore. I've got an awesome team that's much better at that stuff than I am. So I kind of just manage stuff at this point, and we're taking on just more and more clients and continuing to scale.
Awesome. Now you guys have the rundown of what he covers, but I do want to hit on one thing really quick, and that is that being around Payton has been awesome for me because our brains kind of work differently. I'm much more the numbers guy. I love the sales side of things, and I've always been more the brunt force. He's been able to be the finesse guy, I guess you could say. And it's really cool because we go to the gym every morning, and there were
almost every morning. Chandler sometimes is too busy for the gym.
Yeah, 3 days plus a week I'm there. But we're able to bounce ideas, and coming from different backgrounds of what our passions are, it's really cool. And his thought processes have helped my business in a huge way. From me putting out my real estate investing course, creating my website. He was even the one that pushed me to start a YouTube channel to begin with, because he's like, dude, there's so much here that you could be doing for your door-to-door sales business, for what you're doing with real estate, for finding deals, for all of that. And it's been awesome because then we can bounce ideas, and it's helped my business in a big way. But I would also say the sales background has helped you.
Yeah, I would say that I certainly wouldn't be where I am right now without that sales background. And I loved my time doing door-to-door sales. I feel like that prepped me to where I could go sell really anything. And it's been crazy how like that preparation selling, you know, a $500 pest control contract has given me way more than enough confidence to like close these huge web design deals or advertising deals. And so I feel like that has been huge for me. And then also, yeah, just to go along with that, like having the group of friends and spending time with you, it just elevates your vision. And so I feel like between like the expertise that I get and like the insights and help that I get, but also just like like you said, showing up at the gym and thinking like I'm hot stuff because I made $1,000 that day, and then you guys are talking about $1 million deals, and I'm like, oh geez, I gotta step up my game. And so it's been so helpful to me just to have like those people around me to kind of boost me up.
Yeah, that friendly competition, but also coming from two different industries has been huge. Now, I'm not sure if you wanted me to share this, but I'm gonna do it anyways. There was one time we went into the gym, and usually, I mean, we'll talk big real estate deals and stuff like that, but then you came in and you told us that you'd landed a $900,000 contract for, and obviously it was like a multi-year thing, but I was like, holy crap, dude, that's nuts. I was definitely feeling some like, freaking A, I should be doing that stuff.
Yeah, no, it's, I mean, there's so much that goes into it, so it's never like cut and dry, just like real estate, right? Like there's a certain amount of work that goes into it, and I need my team to like execute those. But yeah, that was a really exciting one. That was definitely like the biggest adrenaline rush in my business that I've ever gone to land a client like that, which was really cool. Like I remember sitting there and I had to kind of put together a little presentation and kind of walk them through. And I remember very specifically in that final sales call when we got to price, and there was like a little bit of like this negotiation, and the owner of that business is like a total baller. Like he's awesome. But as we went into pricing, he kind of pushed back on pricing, and I could remember this moment where I was thinking like, no, like I've been trained on how to like stick to price and increase value. Like don't drop on price because that's going to make it seem less valuable. And all these things that I like learned from summer sales came flooding back in. And it was really cool because like we went through that process and we landed it. And then after the fact, someone else that was in the call was like, I guess after the fact, they said, dude, he was like really impressed with your sales skills. And I was like, that's right, baby. Pest control, bug juice.
Link in description if you guys want to come work with us, we'll plug it in. But I love these stories because door-to-door sales, it just is a skill that you use everywhere in your life. And for you, I think very early on, you knew that isn't what you wanted to do forever. It's something that I loved and am still doing, but it's really cool that you're able to say, hey, I don't want to do this forever. It's not my passion, but it is a skill set that I can carry into my passion. I think that's what set you apart. I mean, when we talk about your Facebook group, and this is another thing, if you're interested in this stuff, I'm going to put a link for Payton's Facebook group and also my Facebook group. If you want to learn more about real estate investing, they're free groups, but you inspired me to start my group. You've had yours a while, and I think you have over 3,000 members.
Yeah.
But the thing that was so cool about your group that made me decide that I wanted to start mine is you're able to connect with people in your industry. And I think you're even telling me about a poll where a lot of your people weren't making a lot in this space.
Yeah, that was really surprising because I feel like it's a pretty like generally understood thing that freelancers don't make a lot of money, and usually it's like that thing you do when you lose your job and you're like, I'm gonna try to freelance and make some money on the side. And so I was curious to see how much other people in my group were making, and out of that whole group we had several hundred people respond, but the question was like, how much are you making per month? And I'm pretty sure like 85% of the group was less than $1,000 a month, and then there were like a couple around that $5,000 range. And then I think maybe like 1% of people were making over $10,000 a month. And that was really eye-opening for me because I think a lot of those people have probably far more like skills than I do, are better, designers, better SEOs than me. But I think it's that vision that they kind of lacked, and then just the sales training, right? Like having that, I would probably say from what I've experienced in my business over these last couple of years, it's maybe 10, 15% actually like websites and marketing, and the rest is just sales, right? Like if you can't find any clients, it doesn't matter if you're like the best web designer in the world. If you can't find clients, you're not going to get paid. And if you don't get paid, you end up back in a different job that you don't like as much. So the sales is like so key to really any job that I can think of.
Well, even with your employees, and I know you've got some incredible employees that work for you, but that's a big thing that brought them to you is they had the skill set, but they didn't have the deal flow, you could say.
Yeah, and I definitely, if I haven't said this already, like they're far more talented than I am and skilled and organized, and I'm super lucky to have them on my team. But I think that's why we're a good fit is, like I tell them this all the time, I'm like, if you guys can just manage this stuff and do a good job, I'll just bring new clients in because it's what I love to do. And, like a business isn't a business without sales and without clients. And so that's the thing that comes first.
Definitely. Well, we've given you the full background, a little bit of our backstory growing up. One thing I didn't include, me and Payton, we've talked about it now. We need to go into business together doing something, but we tried this when I was 10 and you were 8 mowing lawns. And unfortunately, I definitely worked more, and yet you still got 50% of the profits.
Yeah, always finessing, baby. But I think that's big for Chandler is, if you haven't found this out yet, Chan's a grinder. He just can work hard like 20 hours a day and not get tired. I am like very strategic in where I put my effort, and I still feel like I work hard and I work late, but I definitely think that that's one thing, kind of that grit and that just consistent determination is something that I constantly have to push myself for, and it really came through when we were mowing lawns together. So.
Well, that's nice of you. I will also say though, I have watched you grind as well, and I think a big part of that was finding your passion. And we'll finish with talking more about that. But first off, I want you to open up and share, because the clickbaity thumbnail for this video was how you made over $94,000 in the course of 1 month. And you actually just ran through your numbers and it was more than 94,000. I'm gonna stick with that because I've said it the whole video, but give us
It's already on the thumbnail, so we'll keep it.
We're in too deep.
Yeah, so as of the end of last month, we finished with $50,000, which was strictly from our agency. So those are the clients that we work with, building websites, doing our marketing and SEO campaigns. So we were $50,000 there. And then we also had a course launch last month that brought in $43,000. And that was really exciting. That was actually when we were down in Vegas, I was like having those course sales roll in last week. So we've got that, and then I know like YouTube is bringing in $1,500 a month. I think that's where we were at last month. We used some affiliate stuff, which was about $400 last month. So I think that puts us right around that 94, 95 last month. So it was awesome. I again like really grateful for my team, but we pushed hard. We were shooting for like that 100K month just because that would have been a better clickbait thumbnail for you. So sorry to disappoint. But
next month.
Yeah, next month, hopefully. So, but yeah, it was an awesome month.
That's very cool. Also, I just want to point out, we are definitely competitive in a lot of things. And while we were in Vegas, we went and raced supercars. And we both got our best lap, and it just worked out that my best lap was a little faster than yours.
Just a little bit. It was my first time, though. And he owns like all those cars that we drove down there, so yeah, a little bit of an advantage.
But I still won.
Yeah, it's barely.
But one thing we're gonna do, we're gonna show you a little clip of us racing, and we're also going. We'll see if I can put this together, but I'm gonna include live time what we were making while we were driving these cars, because you had course sales rolling in, I had real estate income rolling in.
This may be the first time. He might have beat me in the car racing, but I think I maybe made more than you when we were in the cars.
Maybe
we'll see.
You did have a lot coming in course sales.
Go gas, go gas, gas. Very good. You gotta wait for the car to settle down. Up shift. Up shift. Don't wait, up shift. You're missing the power curve if you wait. Brace right here. Downshift, down, 2 more, 1 more. Turn right, squeeze the gas. Off the gas, on the gas. To the signal orange. 75. Straight to the orange. Harder, coast me to the blue. All the way over.
Mine was a 1 month event. His is a lifetime event. So I'm not gonna be able to keep up with it.
I don't know. That's the thing that's scary about your business is I've done this for 10 years. And obviously the real estate is built up, but the explosive growth that your business has had the last 2-3 years has been absolutely incredible. And so I definitely have to continue to buy a lot of real estate because the edge you have is this business has grown so exponentially. And I also think just in the last couple of years, you've got really good at scaling it and putting the right people in the right places, where I am a little worried you're gonna pass me up. So we'll see what happens.
We're coming. So if you think that Chandler's little brother is gonna be more wealthy than him one day, smash that like button.
Let's
do it. Come on, do it.
There was one more thing I wanted to point out. And this is something that I've learned from the book Grit, but also from your experience. So if you want a good book, go read the book Grit. But grit is a perfect combination of work ethic and finding your passion. And I think for you, you really found your passion. I believe that I found mine. But I also want to make sure that you understand that, you know, Payton downplays how he is strategic. That doesn't mean that the last, 5, 6, 7 years weren't a lot of grinding, a lot of hard nights, a lot of hard discussions with employees, with customers, with all of those people. And that's one thing that I think people miss is passion is important, but passion doesn't mean every day is like rainbows.
Yeah, it's very true. I found that passion kind of gets you in the door. I don't even think motivation works for me. I think it's just habit. Like kind of having those habits that you fall back on, where it's like I'm up every morning and I work, and these are the things that I have to do to make sure my clients are taken care of. And if you kind of develop that habit, then like once you reach the end of passion and motivation, you've got those habits to fall back on. But I certainly can say that when I think about what I do, I would not be successful if I didn't love it, because you've got to have something that kind of gives you that edge, kind of takes you that next level. And I really do love what I do. I think it gives me freedom, which, in turn with that freedom, I just work more, but I love it, so it's worth it.
Well, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the little bell. You can also go check out Payton's YouTube, and we're gonna put links for both of our Facebook groups. His is gonna dive into SEO, website design, all of that stuff, and building a business around that. And mine's gonna dive into real estate investing. And unfortunately, your Facebook group is bigger than mine right now.
Not for
so
long.
all of you real estate investors out there, make sure you go hop on. It's a great place to connect with like-minded people. And again, if you enjoyed this video, smash the like button, but also let me know in the comments if you want me to connect with more businesses outside of real estate to see how other people are building their wealth. So with all of that being said, we'll see you in the future videos.